poppin', what's poppin', what's poppin'? Good morning, good morning. Y'all know what it is, man. It's your boy Blanco. Keep It Authentic Podcast. We back with another video. Let's get it. Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, man. We back. It is Tuesday, March the 10th. You know what I'm saying? 4 more days for my daughter's birthday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my daughter, man. She's gonna be turning 18 4 days. You know what I'm saying? So that means, y'all know what that means. That means I'm getting old. But listen, man, we back with another video, man. As y'all can tell by the title, today we gonna be discussing the singer Rihanna. You know, her Beverly Hills mansion, it was shot up. You know what I'm saying? I believe it was this past Sunday. This past Sunday, you know, her Beverly Hills mansion was shot up, and it's been reported that she was actually at home when this incident happened. Now, unfortunately, well, no, I'm not going to say unfortunately. Fortunately, the kids, you know, her and ASAP Rocky's kids, they weren't there. You know what I'm saying? It was reported that ASAP Rocky and the kids, they were not there at the home at the time the shooting occurred. You know, but we're going to talk about it, man. We're going to talk about it. We're going to try to get into why this may have possibly happened. You know what I'm saying? We do know that there has been a young lady arrested for the incident. We're going to get into who she is, you know what I'm saying, and possibly what her motive was, you know what I'm saying, for committing this horrendous act. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, man, y'all got y'all coffee. Make sure y'all get y'all coffee, man. Get y'all blunts, you know what I'm saying, lit up. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to light mine up right now. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get into this content, man. Because I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. When I first heard this, you know what I'm saying? When I first heard this, right, I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was fake. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many outlets and so many people, you know, going around posting fake news about celebrities being killed and, you know, all sorts of things like that. So when I first saw it, I thought it was fake. So usually when I see stories, you know what I'm saying, and I think that they're fake or there's not very much truth to them, I'll go research the story myself. So that's what I did. I went and researched the story, and I seen that, you know, there was a couple of news outlets covering it. I seen TMZ had put something out about it. Then I went on YouTube and I seen that there were other content creators, you know, talking about it as well. So that's when I started to say, okay, you know, maybe this is true. You know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, we come to find out that it is a true story. You know what I'm saying? This past Sunday, the singer Rihanna, her house was shot up. I believe they said there were 10 shots fired. You know, I think 4 or 5 of them actually hit the house. And I believe they said the rest of the shots hit the gate. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, we're going to get into the content. First, we're going to read what the report says. And this report is courtesy of MSN. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna read what this report says, and then we're gonna check out the video of, you know, the incident. So let's get into what this report says. All right, now I don't know if y'all can actually see that. Let me zoom in. Yeah. All right, you know, that should make it a little better for you. Okay, so now we're gonna read what the report says. It says Rihanna's Beverly Hills mansion is shot up while singer was home. Woman 30 arrested. All right, a woman was arrested Sunday a woman was arrested Sunday after allegedly firing several shots with a rifle at the Beverly Hills mansion of pop star Rihanna, with one bullet piercing the wall of the home. Law enforcement source told the Post. Los Angeles police said officers responded to reports of gunfire around 1:21 p.m. and quickly took a 30-year-old female suspect into custody. Okay, so evidently, this woman pulled up to Rhianna's's crib, shot it up, and she didn't even try to flee. You know, she's like, 'cause she was still there when the police got on the scene, and they arrested her right there at the scene. But let's keep going and see what the report says. Authorities are now working to determine the motive. Photos from the scene show yellow tape posted outside the singer's home. LAPD officers were also seen closing off the street near the star's property. A source close to the family telling the Post they are all doing okay. And that's the blessing in this situation. The blessing in this situation is thankfully nobody was hurt. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, Rihanna's okay. Thankfully, A$AP Rocky and the kids weren't there and they're okay. So that's the blessing in this situation. But let's continue reading the report. It says Rihanna was home at the time, according to the LA Times. Police say the suspect fired multiple rounds from inside her car toward the celebrity's house. No one was injured, according to the LAPD. LAPD radio dispatch said at least 10 shots were fired at the home from a vehicle parked across the street from the property's gate. The suspect then sped off in a white Tesla heading south on Coldwater Canyon Drive, according to police audio. According to the dispatch audio. So she did try to flee. So basically what she did was she parked across the street from Rihanna's house, shot it up, and then fled in a white Tesla. And she was later apprehended, on Coldwater Canyon Drive. I don't know how far that is from Rihanna's home, but we do know that she was fairly apprehended pretty quick. All right, but let's continue reading the report. The suspect was detained by law enforcement at the scene. So evidently, Coldwater Canyon Drive is not that far from Rihanna's home, or either that's the same street that Rihanna's home is on, because it says that the suspect was detained by law enforcement at the scene. So she didn't get very far. But let's continue reading the report. The singer reportedly lives in a colonial-style mansion in Beverly Hills post office neighborhood with her husband, rapper A$AP Rocky. Rihanna and A$AP Rocky share kids, RZA 3, Riot Rose 2, and 5-month-old Rocky Irish Mayors have yet to speak publicly on the attack. It wasn't immediately clear if anyone else was inside the home when the shots were fired. Okay, in February of 2025, A$AP Rocky was found not guilty on 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm after he was accused of shooting at his one-time friend and bandmate following a heated argument in 2021. Rihanna purchased a 5-bedroom, 7-bathroom estate for $14 million back in 2021 on a star-studded street that includes neighbor Paul McCartney. This is not the first time Grammy-winning superstar has endured a scare at her home. Now, if y'all don't remember, a while back, she was also a victim of a burglary. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they're talking about when they say this is not the first time that she's actually had to endure an incident like this. But let's keep reading the report. Back in 2018, 27-year-old man broke into Rihanna's Hollywood Hills residence after hopping a fence, according to the Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office. The alleged intruder, identified by prosecutors as Eduardo Leon, slipped inside the property while the singer was away and camped out in the house for roughly 12 hours before finally discovered by one of her assistants. So listen, bro, look, now hold on. Now y'all see how crazy and deranged some people can be. Okay, this guy, Eduardo Young, he broke into her house. Once again, thankfully, she was not there. You know what I'm saying? But he broke into her house and then just basically chilled there for 12 hours before being discovered by one of her assistants. Okay, so listen, right? My thing is, you know, I'm pretty sure that this guy suffers from some type of mental illness. I'm pretty sure of it because nobody with common sense, right, would break into a celebrity's house, especially a celebrity with the status of Rihanna. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, this is Rihanna. You know, she's a household name. She's a worldwide name. You know, even when she's not away, you know, I'm pretty sure that the neighbors and people, there's people, you know, in and out of that property, you know, keeping an eye on things, making sure that everything's straight. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be a person with some type of mental illness to break into a celebrity's home and then just chill there. Basically, half the day, 12 hours, this man chilled in her crib. It's not saying that he took anything or nothing. So it's like, what was you doing in the 12 hours that you was there, bro? Like, what was you doing? Was you on Instagram Live? Was you on Facebook Live? You know, trying to stunt for your homies or whatever? Like, yeah, bro, you know, I just came up, just met me a nice little baddie, bro. Look, she done moved me in the crib, whoop de whoop, all this and that. I just don't understand, like, what your mindset is to do something like this. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna continue reading this report, man. Okay, where we left off. Okay, so it says Dion later pleaded no contest to stalking and was slapped with a 10-year stay away order, barring him from going anywhere near the pop icon. Okay, so essentially, you know, you really you got a slap on the wrist for this incident. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously, you know, you didn't take anything. So, I mean, they hit you with a stalking charge and they gave you a 10-year stay away order. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, once again, I'm almost pretty sure that this Eduardo Leon guy suffers from some type of mental illness. You know what I'm saying? Because I just don't understand anybody with, you know, common sense. Why would you break into a star's home and then just chill there? You know, like I'm not gonna lie to you. If it was me, right? If I'm gonna break into a star's home, I'm going in there. I'm gonna get whatever I can get of value, and I'm getting the fuck up out of there. I'm not chilling there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not chilling in there. You know, so somebody can come in and catch me. I'm not chilling in there, peeking out the window so the neighbors can possibly see me and call the police and be like, "Hey, you know, Rihanna ain't home, but I see somebody walking around in her house through the window." You know what I'm saying? So it's just like you gotta be either on drugs or you gotta have some type of mental illness, bro. This is shit that normal people just don't do. You know? All right, but now let's continue reading the report. Since welcoming her firstborn, Rihanna has confessed she would not play when it comes to her kid, saying she took a page from Real Housewives of New Jersey star Teresa Udis. Titus? I don't know how you say that. If I butchered your name out. Okay, she will flatten you about those kids, she told Teen Vogue in 2022. And that resonates with me a lot because I feel like that's the type of I'm going to be. Okay, now listen, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. So that's basically the end of the report, right? I'm not gonna lie to y'all, right? When it come to my kids, right? Like I'm willing to throw it all away about my kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, you know, at this point in my life, right? You know what I'm saying? That like my kids, you know, they're all I have, you know, left in this world. You know, now I'm not saying that I still don't have family like brothers and sisters and people of that nature, right? But what I'm saying is as a parent, right, as a father, You know what I'm saying? You tend to, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that all of us. And I also want to make this very clear. I'm not going to sit here and portray to y'all that I've been this perfect, great dad. You know, yes, I've made mistakes, but you know, I've also learned from those mistakes and I've acknowledged the mistakes that I've made and I've made corrections, you know, and changes in my life to where, like, listen, I promised my kids about 20 years ago, right, that the only way I was going to go back to prison was from protecting them. So, like I said, once again, I understand exactly, what she means when she makes a statement like that. You know, when it comes to your kids, right? Like at most people, they will do whatever it takes to protect their kids. So that statement, it definitely resonates with me because I feel the same way. I'm definitely willing to throw it all away when it comes to my kids. You know what I'm saying? But now, let's get into this video, right? Let's get into this video and shout out to Carlos King. You know what I'm saying? If y'all don't know who Carlos King is, man, he's a great content creator. Make sure y'all go over and support his channel, Carlos King, on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Great content, man. So we're gonna get into this video, and this is courtesy of Carlos King. So make sure y'all go over there, support his channel, show him some love and support. Let's check out this video.
The best-selling artist had her third child just last September, revealing the pregnancy several months earlier at the Met Gala. The Diamond singer, who took center stage at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2023, teasing fans last month that she was back in the studio working on her 9th studio album. As for the scary incident, authorities say the suspect was taken into custody without further incident and that a weapon was recovered.
Nobody should have to deal with being, in fear in your own home. That's terrible.
All right, what's up with the YouTube fam? I'm back again with another video, right? So look, man, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have seen that Rhianna'S house was shot up. And a lot of y'all probably haven't, but we're gonna talk about it real quick. And I'm gonna let y'all get into all of the developments that have taken place recently. But they did catch the crazy motherfucker. Now, I seen it when it all like originally started to hit the news and things like that. But I wanted to wait just to make sure it wasn't no like extra news we needed to see or something like that before I brought it to the channel. And I'm glad I did because they ended up arresting her. So she went to jail. She's 35 years old. Her name is Ivana Ortiz or Ortiz, one of the two. But basically, man, she had an AR pistol in the car, man, AR rifle. However they put it in the newspaper, they done said.
Now hold on, let's stop right here for a minute. So okay, now you see the picture of her, right? Now I ain't gonna lie, right? In that picture, she do look a little crazy. She do look like she got some shit going on in her head. She look like she plotting on some shit right now in that picture, right? But I've also seen other pictures of her that would make you think, and if you look at her, you'd be like, damn, like, this girl carrying around an AR? Like, she don't look like, she don't look like she hurt a fly. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they mean by looks are deceiving. You know what I'm saying? Everything that glitter ain't gold. So like I said, once again, if you look at this picture of her that's on the screen right now, in that picture, she looks a little crazy. She look like she up to some shit right now. She look like she high as hell and she plotting on fucking some shit up. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I've seen other pictures of her where, if you look at these other pictures, you be like, nah, man, I don't know, man. I think somebody might be setting her up. She just don't look like the type of person that would do no shit like that. But let's keep going with the video.
2 or 3 different things, but y'all know what I'm talking about here. But they said that she at least hit the home 4 times. So
she look crazy
with them
as hell
having children and different things like that, without her even knowing who was in there, that's crazy to me. Her bond is $10 million, cuz. Now, they don't get these type of bonds for people taking lives and shit, but, it is what it is. Different states and cities and counties do different things. So
don't worry, I'll find it. I'll write you,
I'm
baby.
glad that she's safe. I'm glad nobody was harmed. She was at home when it took place too. That's what makes it all more crazier. Now, they were talking about her having security and stuff like that. Now, 24/7. I don't know how true that is, but I just want to say.
Okay, let's stop right there. Okay, listen. If they're reporting that she had 24/7 security, where the hell was these motherfuckers at? You know what I'm saying? Now, I agree with that. Like a star of your caliber and the type of notoriety that you possess, right? I agree. You should have 24/7 security, especially when you've already been a victim of some shit like this before. Now, the first incident, you know, there was no guns or weapons involved. Not that there was reported. You know, it just said that, you know, this man, Eduardo Leon, he broke into your crib while you were gone. You know what I'm saying? He camped out in the crib, was just chilling, you know, enjoying himself. And your assistant probably popped up over there, or he probably didn't know the assistant was in the crib. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, these stars, they be having these big ass mansions, man. You know, you can break in, you be on one side of the house, and it can be a whole another group of people on the other side of the house. You don't even know they there. You know what I'm saying? But the assistant was the one that caught him, you know, 12 hours later. So it's like, you need 24/7 security. Like when you away from your home, you need security patrolling that home to make sure that ain't nobody trying to break in, ain't nobody, you know, sitting surveilling the property, trying to get, you know, secret access points, or trying to figure out, you know, how can I sneak into this place without being seen. It's like, listen, you know, security cameras, that's not enough, because a security camera, that's only going to catch, you know, the person that's actually committing the crime. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, it doesn't really stop the person from committing the crime. Some people don't give a fuck about a camera being there. Some people will, you know, see the camera and try to destroy it or whatever. But it's like, once the camera, you know, catches you, like, that's it. Like, even if you destroy the camera, that your image is sitting on a server somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of criminals don't get. You know what I'm saying? So that's a prime example of the Nancy Guthrie case, right? Where we see this mysterious person, you know, walking backwards onto her porch because they know that there's a Google Nest camera there. You know, but they're walking backwards trying to conceal their face and their identity. You know, they're using their hand to try to cover the camera up. But it's like, listen, even if you destroy that camera, right, it has already captured the image. It has already captured the image and sent it to a server somewhere. So even if you destroy that camera, you can smash it to pieces. You could throw it in the river. You can do whatever you want to do with it. You can't destroy that image that's on that server. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, like I said, you know, I just don't, you know, I don't understand why you wouldn't have 24/7 security, you know, at your home as well as when you're out in public, you know, especially after you've already been in an incident where somebody done broke into your house. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, you wasn't there. But it's like, you know, it seems to me that, like, these people look at you as being weak, or you don't really take security serious. So they look at you as vulnerable and they just keep targeting you. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep on with the video.
This is the prime example of you can be minding your damn business and somebody can still be being a weird fucker bothering you, bro. It's just crazy these days.
For sure.
Let me know your thoughts and opinions. We're going to talk about this in the comment section. I'm going to come at y'all with another video later on. I just have to give y'all this right here because I'm pretty sure some people were interested and didn't know where to find certain videos and things. So I put it together real quick so y'all can check it out. But look, like I said before, I'm going to holler at y'all in the comments and a little bit later on another video.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet
I think there's a little to this. Okay, yeah. All right. So there's a little bit more to the video, so we're gonna keep on watching the video to see. And this is basically, you know, just a news report of them basically explaining, what I read to you earlier. I just wanted to read the actual report to y'all just because I like bringing you accurate, information. I don't want nobody to think that this is just something that I threw together, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I read the report first to give you a basic, foundation of what actually took place. So basically this portion of the video right here, once again, shout out to Carlos King, man. This portion of the video is just the news, broadcast of them talking about the incident. So we're going to watch that, and then we're going to get into who this Ivana Ortiz woman is, and, why she possibly, targeted Rihanna. Because if y'all don't know, right, this is not the only celebrity that she was harassing. Like, it's been reported, and I'm going to show y'all, a video that she did where she was calling out Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? So this woman, like I said, I believe this woman, she got a little mental illness going on with her, or she just, she infatuated with celebrities, and I just don't know. But let's keep on with the video, man.
And we have seen armed security here as well. But as you said, the suspect allegedly fired multiple shots at the home and then fled. And it is believed the Grammy Award-winning singer was here at the time.
Unit shooting just occurred. 10 gunshots fired from the vehicle at the gate. Code 3, incident 1932, RD 809.
Police responded quickly to this upscale neighborhood where the singer and businesswoman lives with her partner, rapper A$AP Rocky, and their 3 children. The LAPD says officers received a call for an assault with a deadly weapon, shots fired on the 9500 block of Heather Road. This around 1:15 yesterday afternoon. Now it's believed the suspect, identified as 35-year-old Ivana Lisette Ortiz, fired those shots toward the star's home and then fled. Officers met with the person who reported the shooting, getting the suspect's details from them. According to the LA Times, a bullet may have hit the mansion and that Rihanna was home at the time, though it's not clear if anyone else was there.
Heather Road. Suspect vehicle is a white Tesla, seen northbound on Coldwater. Suspect vehicle is a 2023 to 2024 Tesla 4-door with paper license plate.
According to dispatch audio, the suspect fled the scene in that Tesla, but she was located and arrested. The LAPD saying a weapon was found, but why she may have opened fire is still a mystery. A neighbor had this to say about what she heard.
I just heard like one shot. It was really loud, and everything echoes in this valley, so you can hear everything here. I was a little shocked. We don't hear that kind of thing in this neighborhood. It's pretty quiet.
Ortiz was booked for attempted murder and is being held on more than $10 million bail. We have reached out to a representative for Rihanna for a statement.
This morning, a suspect is behind bars after allegedly shooting towards the home of pop superstar and billionaire businesswoman Rihanna.
10 gunshots fired from the vehicle at the gate.
Overnight, an LAPD official telling NBC Los Angeles that multiple rounds were shot from an AR-15 style rifle.
I believe the shots came from across the street.
Several bullets striking the home of 9-time Grammy winner Rihanna and her longtime partner, multi-platinum rapper A$AP Rocky. A neighbor said she was washing dishes when the shots rang out.
I was a little shocked. We don't hear that kind of thing in this neighborhood. It's pretty quiet.
According to police, the 38-year-old singer was at home at the time of the incident when the alleged shooter, a woman, drove to the location and opened fire. Authorities say rounds hit the gate and 4 rounds struck the house, but thankfully there were no injuries to anyone inside. It is not clear if A$AP Rocky or the couple's 3 children were home when the shooting took place. The best-selling artist had her 3rd child just last September, revealing the pregnancy several months earlier at the Met Gala. The Diamond singer, who took center stage at the Super Bowl halftime show in 2023, teasing fans last month that she was back in the studio working on her 9th studio album. As for the scary incident, authorities say the suspect was taken into custody without further incident and that a weapon was recovered.
Nobody should have to deal with being, in fear in your own home. That's terrible.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, I agree. You shouldn't have to live in fear, of your own home.
Not spoken publicly about the attack on her home. We have reached out to reps for both her and ASAP Rocky, but have not heard back. The LAPD.
Hey, listen, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. I ain't going for it, bro. Listen, I live in Tennessee. And in Tennessee, we got the stand your ground law here. And I ain't even gonna cap. You breaking my shit, if I even catch your ass trespassing on my property, nigga, I will. Listen, may God be with you. I'm trying to tell you, bro, like, I'm just not going for it, bro. Like, I done been through so much shit in life that, like, it's just certain shit I'm just not going for, bro. It's like, that's why I don't play with folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see niggas, they be all huddled up on the corner, and they be laughing and joking around with each other and playing the little mama jokes and, the little, no homo and all that type of shit, bro. Like, no, I ain't with none of that, bro. And I get it, like, I don't want people to think that I'm just this serious, uptight type of motherfucker, because I'm not, right? I'm one of the most laid back motherfuckers that you can be around. It's just that, I just don't entertain and I just don't participate in certain shit, right? Because I understand that, like, things can go left at any time. And you never know what type of mindset or mind frame another person is in, right? So one thing, that I learned from my mama, right, is that I learned how to read people. So basically, when I get around somebody that I'm not used to being around or I don't know like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the type of person to be all like cool and hunky-dory with them, right? Like, it's like, no, I gotta read you. I gotta peep the energy, peep the vibe, and figure out, okay, look, is this the type of motherfucking person that I want to be around? Is this the type of person I want to align myself with or socialize myself with? So it's like, and, I feel like that was a valuable lesson that my mom taught me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, once again, I don't know what type of mindset, but it's obvious that this woman, you know what I'm saying, that did this shit, right? Like, it's just like I said, it's either she's mentally fucked up or she just has some type of fascination with celebrities. Maybe, she wanted to be a singer and it just didn't work out for her. Maybe she wanted to be a model and it didn't pan out for her. Like, I don't know, but it's just like, when you encounter these types of people, right, it's like, it's almost, like, the thing of it is, it's like, okay, when we encounter shit like this, right, we automatically, be like, damn, she's a fucked up motherfucker. Like, that shit crazy as hell. Like, how could you do that? Like, why you do Rihanna like that? You know what I'm saying? And I get it, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes sometimes we gotta take a step back, right? And and I'm not using, this as a justification, and I'm not condoning this type of behavior. So don't get that twisted, right? But what I do want people to understand, right, and what I do want people to be aware of is that, okay, sometimes we gotta look at the whole situation, right? And we gotta kind of like look at the person that is the culprit in the situation, right? And be like, okay, listen, let's try to, figure out who this person is and like what have they been through in life. Because like I said, a lot of times when people commit crimes like these, right, it's usually something that took place in their life that now they just have like this hatred and this, they just have this, huge amount of disdain for these types of people, whether it's celebrities, whether it's black folks, white folks, or whatever, whatever the case may be, right? They just have this huge disdain and this hatred for these type of people. You know what I'm saying? And once again, I'm not saying that, being that type of person is justifying in attempting to take somebody's life or actually taking somebody's life. I'm not justifying it. And I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying, you know, sometimes we gotta, you know, we gotta look at the whole situation and understand that, okay, listen, you know, maybe this girl needs some type of psychological evaluation. Maybe she's never been evaluated in her life. You know what I'm saying? So maybe she's suffering from some things that she might not even know she suffers from. You know, mental illness is definitely something that we need to be aware of and we need to stay on top of. But I ain't gonna talk y'all to death, man. Let's keep on going with the video.
He says the suspect's booking information is expected to be released later today. Hoda?
All right, Dana Griffin for us there. Dana, thank you so much.
This morning about it. The suspect arrested after a shooting outside singer Rhianna'S Beverly Crest mansion.
Gigi Graciette is live there at outside the home with more on this. Gigi.
That's right, Bob and Jen. The LAPD has identified the woman accused of shooting up the outside of Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's Los Angeles home yesterday afternoon as 35-year-old Ivana Lisette Ortiz. She is behind bars this morning, being charged with attempted murder. Her bail set at $10,225,000.
Okay, we're gonna stop right here, right? Because y'all see these little taped off areas right here. So look, if y'all look right here in the video, right, y'all see next to this little light right here, whatever that is, you see they got this area taped off, and they got another piece right here, another piece over here. You know what I'm saying? So these areas where it's taped off at, that's actually where bullets actually hit the home. So we got 1, 2, 3. We got 3 in this image right here. So that's at least 3 of them bullets that hit that house. Now, whether they actually penetrated through all that, because that looked like concrete brick right there. Now, I mean, she did have an AR, so, you know, AR is known to pierce through some shit. So, but, you know, like, just looking at that, right, that's 3. And it's like, you know, like I said, thankfully, you wasn't in that area of the house. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, it's been reported that she was home when this happened. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, just looking at that, man, that's crazy. And, you know, that's the, you know, the testament to the way God works, man. Because look, that's 3 shots from an AR to hit that home. You know what I'm saying? You know, it makes you think. Let's keep going.
This morning, we're outside the Beverly Crest home, just off of Coldwater Canyon, and you can see the white gate to the property, and you see that white tape there. That is actually covering up 5 bullet holes, and those were just some of the gunfire, some of the shots fired here yesterday afternoon. Now, take a look at the video.
A white Tesla, as you went down Coldwater, 10 gunshots fired from the vehicle at the gate code 3.
The shooting happened.
I mean, look, so look at that crib, right? I mean, that's a pretty big crib. So, like, from this view, we can't really tell, you know, where she was actually at. It looks like it might be, nah, it can't be back here because I don't see how she could be parked across the street, you know, back there. But, like, this is a pretty big crib, right? So, you know, so they're saying that where we saw that white tape at, that was covering up 5 bullet holes. You know what I'm saying? So that's 5 of the 10 shots that she let off from that AR. 5 of them actually hit your home. So can you imagine being in your house, right? And then hearing these gunshots outside your crib, and like, you don't even know where they coming from. You don't even know that they tearing through your house or nothing. Like I said, thankfully, she wasn't in the area of that home, or we don't actually know what part of the home she was actually in. We just know she was there. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know. She could have been in that area and the girl was just a bad shot, or she just, you know, just said, fuck it, I'm going to let this bitch go. And, you know, if it hits something, it hits something. If it don't, so be it. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's just crazy, man, that, you know, and it's like, what's even crazier, right, is that the fact that this woman could actually pull up, cross the street from your home, you know, and like nobody saw anything strange about it. Like nobody, stopped to think and be like, damn, like. But then again, you know what I'm saying? She was driving a white Tesla. So Teslas are probably common in this neighborhood. Now, whether white ones are common, we don't know that. But I'm pretty sure in Beverly Hills, Teslas is a common vehicle that you probably would see in these neighborhoods. But like, it just makes you think that, this woman was actually able to pull up directly across the street from your crib. Like, first of all, how did she even know where you lived at? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I'm saying, So like, we know that you can, like, pretty much Google Earth, or, you can search, locations. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a dangerous thing. And I think they need to, like, set some more limitations to that, especially when it comes to celebrities or people of high status, you know what I'm saying? People of, notoriety. I think that there needs to be some type of limitations on that, where you can't just go searching up, people's homes. So it's like, remember during the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, right? Where Kendrick used the Google Earth image for the album cover of Drake's crib in Toronto. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a Google search image. You know what I'm saying? A Google Earth image. So it's like a motherfucker could just type in, Drake's home in Toronto, and that shit'll pop up. You know what I'm saying? It might not give you the actual address, but the shit'll still pop up. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, and like I said, if a motherfucker got an image of something, they can pretty much, photogenically, embed that in their brain and be like, okay, I know this is the general area that it's in, so I'm gonna ride through this motherfucker until I find a house that matches this description. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, because chances are, right, look at this home. Chances are there's not another home in this area, right, that's built exactly like this, same color, same label, embed a photo in your mind and actually remember, what it looked like. You'll be able to figure out the little subtle differences, be like, nah, that ain't it. It ain't the right color. But nah, it's got, that it's got this part on here that wasn't on the Google Earth image or whatever. But like I said, man, we're going to keep watching the video.
Happening in broad daylight around 1:20 Sunday afternoon in the normally quiet Beverly Crest neighborhood. People who heard the shooting told police it was a barrage of bullets, some hitting the front gate, as you